Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again. As always, I'm actually quite surprised I'm able to upload a video tonight, guys, to be honest. Particularly after my last video was taken down by YouTube. You know, the one about the man who was having some kind of hysterical, hissy fit mental breakdown over the fact that his passport said he was as such. Now, YouTube said I violated some kind of rule or community guideline about incitement to cyberbullying. I think that's what it was. First time I've ever seen that one. I've seen violations of racism and bigotry and all the rest of it. That's the first time I've ever seen incitement to cyberbullying. Not quite sure how they managed to dream that one up, but there we go. But I do think it is a step in the right direction, a very small and minuscule step in the right direction for the platform in itself to just take it down with an actual reason. It's not a valid reason, just a reason, instead of giving me a community strike on my channel and banishing me for 2 to 3 weeks, not being able to upload and talk to you guys. So yeah, like I say, maybe it is a small step in the right direction. I don't think it was really warranted. I was just merely relaying biological facts with just a peppering of humour in there somewhere, just mingled in all together. Anyway, enough wibble. What are we talking about tonight, guys? Well, what we're going to be talking about is Gary Lineker. You know, that smug, self-righteous, sanctimonious little rat-faced prick who works at the BBC, who has a holier-than-thou attitude to anyone who's on £50 less than him on his yearly salary. After 26 years, he is finally stepping down from the BBC. You know, his cushy job where he sits on his ass for an hour and a half, once per week, and talks about football. Something I could do for a fraction of the price, but that's another story for another day. Gary Lineker will announce he's leaving the BBC tomorrow and will not front the 2026 World Cup following an anti-Semitism row. The former Leicester City and England striker, the former Leicester City and England striker who proclaimed he was black when he was at school. Do you remember a few years ago? He said he suffered racial bullying at school during his youth, even though he's as white as I am and I don't leave the house. That says an awful lot. He was just bowing down to the Black Lives Matter mob when it was a thing in this country at the time. Heaven only knows why. I still don't know why we had that movement here when the death of a criminal over in America somehow made its way across the pond. Bonkers. A source even told The Sun it is a heartbreaking end to an extraordinary broadcasting career. Gary agreed to leave the BBC for good after meeting bosses last week, with a source saying he realised his position was untenable. This has been a long time coming, guys. His position should have been unattainable even a long time ago. The Match of the Day's horse early departure comes 5 days after he apologised for sharing a controversial post which saw him accused of anti-Semitism. Ex-England striker Gary, 64, faced a huge backlash after he reposted a video which criticised Zionism and included an illustration of a rat. Zionism, I get called that a lot of the time. I'm not even quite sure what it means. I was called it on my last live that I did here. Someone called me a Zionist. What even is it? Is it someone who supports Israel over Palestine? I don't fucking know. Don't really care. I'm certainly not one of them. That's for goddamn sure. Anyway, as I was saying, guys, this has been a long time coming. There's just one thing I don't understand, right? Gary Lineker, for years upon years, probably pre-Black Lives Matter, maybe a little bit time before that, he has been gaslighting us. He has been calling us fools. He calls us scumbags, in not so many words, obviously, but that was his intentions with the way he words some of his tweets. And nothing happens. Nothing whatsoever. The real reason that really gets up my tits is that if you're employed by the BBC, you are supposed to be impartial, which means you don't have a political stance, you don't take one side or the other, whether it's left or right or in the centre. You are literally Switzerland when it comes to discussions such as these. He hasn't been that for many years. He should have been out of the door about 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Same goes for Carol Vorderman, you know, that plastic surgeon's nightmare with her foster tits. She found out the hard way as well when she was being very political on one of her BBC radio shows. You cannot do that, particularly when you are paid out of the back pocket of the British taxpayer. If you want to be continuing to be employed by the BBC, you have to remain impartial. That goes if you're in work or you're out of work. It's as simple as that. She found out the hard way after backlash, of course. She was hoofed from her BBC radio show, the same as happened to Gary Lineker here. But the only thing that really gets on my nerves here is the amount of bullshit he has said throughout the years. It takes an anti-Semitism backlash to actually get him out of the door. I can't get my head around that, to be honest. He has been detrimental, he has been horrible to the fucking British public who pay his wages, but as soon as the Jews come into it, you're out of the door. Why does that make it so much more worse that you have to lose your job? Can't get my head around that. I don't care if you're racist, you're anti-Semite, you're whatever the hell you are, you should suffer the same consequence no matter what you are. It's as simple as that. Alright, that's another thing, guys. I just want to pick up on. Sorry, this is off the cuff, guys. I've made no notes whatsoever. I'm just doing this very, very quickly. So if I'm all over the place, I do apologise. Excuse me, I've got an itchy leg. I've seen a post on X about 35 minutes ago about people wanting to boycott Co-op because they have voted in favour of taking Israeli goods off the shelves. Now, I asked this on this exact post. Never got an answer. They probably thought I was taking the piss and I was some kind of pro-Hamas nutcase, which I'm not, of course. I don't give a shit. I don't have a stance on either one of these people. They're far too far away from me to even give a shit about. But I've got to ask you, what are these Israeli goods that are taking off the shelves? I have a Co-op in my local vicinity. I go there. I don't remember ever picking up something that was made in Israel. Is it fruit? Is it some kind of food? Is it something I've missed? Please do let me know in the comments if you know what Israeli goods actually are. It's like we don't have a lot of Hebrew foods in the middle of fucking Sainsbury's and Asda, do we? Unless we do, and I'm being blind and just not taking any notice. I don't know. Let me know in comments because no fucker's answering me on X. Anyway, enough wibble. I've been going on and on for far too long. I've been all over the place, so I do apologise. Do let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.